was a rainy evening when Daniel Parker, a single dad struggling to make ends meet, was driving home from his second job. The roads were slippery, and his old sedan was barely keeping up with the downpour. His son, Liam, just 8 years old, was in the backseat, quietly finishing his homework under the dim light of a small reading lamp he carried everywhere. Daniel was exhausted, his shoulders heavy with the weight of bills, overdue rent, and the constant worry of whether he could keep a roof over their heads. As he rounded a sharp corner, he noticed a woman standing by the side of the road, drenched and shivering. Her car had clearly broken down, steam was rising from the hood, and she was waving frantically. Daniel slowed down and rolled down his window, calling out over the sound of the rain. "Hey, do you need some help?" The woman looked relieved and took a hesitant step toward the car. "Yes, please, my car it won't start and my phone died," she said, her voice trembling. She was impeccably dressed in a designer coat and heels, completely out of place in this weather. Daniel glanced at Liam in the backseat. "You okay if we stop for a minute? It won't take long," he asked. Liam nodded, trusting his dad completely. Daniel got out of the car and opened the hood of the woman's vehicle. He wasn't a mechanic, but he knew enough from fixing his own old car to check the basics: battery connections, oil levels, fuses. After a few tense minutes, he realized it was a blown fuse. Luckily, he had a spare in his glove compartment. He replaced it, prayed silently, and turned the key. The engine roared to life. The woman exhaled, relief washing over her face. "Oh my goodness, thank you. I don't know what I would have done without you." Daniel shrugged, brushing rainwater from his jacket. "No problem, I've been there myself. Glad it's nothing serious." She smiled at him, but there was a strange intensity in her gaze. "I owe you more than I can say." Daniel smiled awkwardly, not wanting to make it awkward. "You're welcome. Take care and drive safe." He watched her drive off, disappearing into the rain. Little did he know that small act of kindness would change his life forever. 2 days later, Daniel's life took an unexpected turn. He had been summoned to a local court. He wasn't entirely sure why. Daniel had been struggling to pay his rent for months, and his landlord had finally taken him to court for eviction. It was the final hearing, the one that would decide whether he and Liam had a home or ended up on the streets. Daniel walked into the courtroom, heart pounding, rehearsing the words he'd say to explain his situation. When the bailiff called his name, he walked to the center of the room, his palms sweaty, trying to look composed. Then he looked up and froze. The judge sitting behind the bench was none other than the woman he had helped in the rain. "Mr. Parker," she said, her voice calm, professional, but there was a flicker of recognition in her eyes. "You may be seated." Daniel's mind raced. Was it really her? The judge who would decide the fate of his home and his son's future, the very woman whose car he had helped just days ago. He sat down slowly, trying not to show his shock. The hearing began. His landlord's lawyer spoke first, laying out the case for eviction, citing overdue rent, past notices, and broken lease terms. Daniel listened quietly, his chest tightening. When it was his turn, he spoke from the heart. He explained his circumstances, how he worked multiple jobs, how his son depended on him, how he was trying desperately to keep things afloat. The judge listened silently, her expression unreadable. But every now and then, she would glance at Daniel with that same intensity he remembered from the rainy night. Then came the moment she asked him a single question. "Mr. Parker, when was the last time you received any assistance?" Daniel hesitated. He hated asking for help. I don't usually, I've tried, I don't know." The judge nodded slowly. "I see." She tapped her pen against the bench, then stood. "In my opinion, Mr. Parker has shown extraordinary resilience and dedication to his son under extremely challenging circumstances. I also understand that unforeseen circumstances can affect even the most hardworking individuals." Daniel's heart raced. "Your Honor," he started, but she held up her hand. "I am ordering that the eviction is stayed. Mr. Parker, You will be allowed to remain in your home. I strongly encourage local agencies to provide assistance where possible, but your immediate shelter is secure." He couldn't believe it. Relief washed over him so intensely that he felt like he might cry. He looked at the judge, trying to find the right words, but she only smiled gently.